right? So the first one is true, second one is true, and the third one, the size of the audio file can be compressed by decreasing the sampling rate. That is true as well. So see how much you got out of 10 here. So said each and every part is true. You are given 3 marks. Next one is about the Excel. So what they're asking is write down the formula that should be written in cell D4 to find the difference of CO2 emission between year 2014 and 1972 in Bangladesh. So if you look into the Excel, you can see there are 4 or like rather 5 columns in the table. So it is talking about CO2 emissions. So in different countries are there, right? So the first column is about the countries, and next 2 column is about 2 different years, and the difference in the percentages are due to calculate. So they are asking you to calculate the difference in D4. That means over here. Of Bangladesh, right? So they're asking you to write a formula, right? So in formula, in the sense, you can go with the function or with the particular equation, right? So you can write it equals what? C4 minus B4. Right? Since the C4 value is greater, right? And the equation in words defined the same way, right? And it is saying write down the formula that should be written in cell E4, that means over here, to calculate the percentage increase of CO2 emission from 1972 to 2014 for Bangladesh. So the way that is being calculated is difference divided by value of year 1972 into 100. So the difference is in D4. So we can say equal D4 divide by 1972 values give you by B4. We should have the brackets and the star mark and the 100. All right. So D4 divided by B4 into hundreds. Let's go with the marking scheme as well. Yeah. You can have it as C4 minus B4. And you can have the percentage like this. As any type of it. Right? Instead of D4, you can use C4 minus B4 as well. Yeah, but that's the video. No, on Etra, EM is used to do the emphasizing part. It is something very same as the ball tag door. Okay. Right. So in the third part, They are asking this. Assume that two formula entered in cell D4 and E4 are copied to the cell ranges D5 colon E10. Write down respectively the two formula displayed in cell D9 and cell E9. So let's go with the marking scheme. Cell D9 contains C9 minus B9, and cell E9 contains either C9 minus B9 divided by B9 into 100 or D9 divided by B9 into 100. It is according to the formula that you have used. Right? So somehow your answers are going to be something similar to these answers. The cell addresses should not be changed. Any pair will give you 3 marks. And as the final part, the fourth one. A formula in the form of equal function cell 1 colon cell 2 is written in cell B11 to calculate the total CO2 emission in all countries in 1972. Write down the relevant terms for function 1, cell 1, and cell 2. So if you are going to have the total CO2 emission, you need to use this sum function. So function 1 is going to be sum. This is going to be sum. Cell 1 is going to be the first cell of the range, that means B4. Last cell is going to be B10. So this is going to be B4. This is going to be B10. Name the most suitable chart type in spreadsheet software to show the CO2 emission of given countries in 1972 and 2014. So the traditional answer, either the line chart or bar chart, right, or column chart. In the marking scheme, they goes the same way. And they have given marks for the area chart as well. Okay. Is that clear, everyone? Yes, people, is that clear? Okay. Moving to the fifth question, the database question about the customer table, rate table, and the usage table. Okay, so let me try the new whiteboard over here. Yeah, they say there are a lot of things are there. Let's see. Hold on a second, people. Okay. So here in the questions, what they're asking is write two primary keys and their corresponding tables. So let me take this at the red color. Yeah. So the two primary keys and their corresponding tables. What we can easily say is we can take account number as the primary key of the customer data table, and we can take the type for the rate table. And when it comes to the usage table, we can take the account number alone. We can't take the months alone, but it is possible to have month and account number together for the usage table. Right, so the marking scheme is showing the customer data table and the rate table, account number and type. So 2 marks are given. And in the next question, it says write two foreign keys and their corresponding tables. Now, when it comes to the foreign keys, now this account number in the usage table, it is going to be a foreign key for this particular table. Why it is going to be a foreign key? Because it is the primary key of this table. So inside the usage table, it's acting as a foreign key. As well as this type is going to be a foreign key because it is the primary key of the rate table. Right, so regarding the foreign keys, usage tables, account number, customer data table, the type. Again, 2 marks are given for that. And then it is asking, what would be the most suitable table in the database to add the field customer address? So customer address means a data of a customer. So definitely the best thing is the customer data table. All right. So this should be the best place to have the customer address. And then it is asking what table should be updated if a new customer called ABC Navas of type R has used 120 units for the month of April. So it's a new customer, first thing. That means definitely the customer data table should be updated. And his type is R, has used 120 units. So the unit usage is also given. for the month of April. That means this usage table should also be updated. Customer data table should be updated with the customer details. Usage table should be updated with the usage details. Therefore, the answer is given like this. So it's the customer data. For the third one, so 1 mark. For the fourth one, as we discussed, there are two tables, customer data and usage table. And later they are asking how these values can be added. So customer data table, there should be ABC Navas 1005 and the type is R. And the usage table, it should be April 1005 120. Right, so both the details should be maintained. Here it's going to be ABC Navas 1006, type is R. Here it's the April and 1006 and 120 units. Right, so if both the records are being written, you are given 2 marks for that. Minul, yeah, like what is the difference way that you have written, Minul? The most common way is this. And the මුලින්ම තියෙන එකනා මෙන්න මෙයා. Even they have given marks for these things as well. That means we know something like this. Yeah, no worries. You can have the marks. Right. Okay. So in the fifth one, they are asking write down the update rows and their respective tables. We have discussed about it. And the last one, what table should be joined to run a query to find out the total bill for AB Silva for January? So total bill for AB Silva for January. So to find that detail, you need what? You need to know who is AB Silva and what is his account type, account number, and the type. And again, you have to refer the rate according to the type. So these two will be connected. And again, for January, 1001 with the reference of this. So we find the January and the number of units. We need this account number because here is another 1001, but that is for February. We don't need those two. Right, we only need the January units. So we need all three tables to figure out the total bill. Right, so to answer in that manner, you will be given 2 marks. That is how 10 marks are being allocated. So see how much you got out of 10. The sixth question, they're asking about, consider the following scenario related to the development of the library information system. So you are given a particular scenario and they have asked you some questions. The first question is, who is involved in the coding phase of the system development life cycle? So in the explanation, it says, based on the design made by Anwar, Malini developed the software. So he is the one who is coding this system. So this is Malini. And in part B, it asking which phase of the system development lifecycle was carried out by Saman. So Saman installed the system in the library. Installing the system in the library means deployment. Sometimes it says implementation as well, right? So in the marking scheme, yeah, they have gone with those two answers. So part C, it is asking which phase of the system development life cycle was carried out by Krishna. So Krishna, what is doing? Tested the software. So simply it is testing. The testing phase. Write two different methods that Anwar can use to understand the requirement of the proposed system. Yes. So he can do interviews. He can do observations. Right? He can give a questionnaire. Right? So these kind of things: observation, interviews, questionnaires, document inspection, prototyping, document sample inspections. So 3 marks for that part. And the part E is not in your syllabus. So you can take that 1 mark, the feasibility study. Yeah. So here what they are saying is, yeah, they are asking you to arrange the things accordingly. When someone trying to access this www.ni.lk, what should be the flow, right? So let's see. So the request to translate, that's not the one which is happening very first. DNS returns, web browser renders, web browser sends, let's server with IP address. Yeah. So the F is going to be the very first thing to happen. User opens the web browser and enters http://www.ni.lk. When the browser has this, browser send this to the DNS, right? So request to translate ni.lk domain name to the IP address is sent to the DNS. So that means A. First it is F, then it is A. So then DNS returns the IP 222.165.180.150. So then it is B. So then after the B, there are CDNE, web browser renders the HTML web page. web browser sends the HTTP GET request to the web server with the IP address, this particular thing, web server with IP address. Yeah. So it's the D that is going to happen next. Web browser send a HTTP GET request to the web server with the IP address of this. Then the web server returns. Web server with IP address 222.165.180.150 returns the HTML data stream. Then finally, it's the C. So it's FABDEC. Oh. Okay. They have given some picture name. I missed that. Anyway, so they are asking the values. So 1 is F, 2 is A, and 6 is C. So that is how you are going to take 3 marks. Okay, the final question. The following flowchart shows an algorithm that reads 2 numbers and displays a small number. Write the pseudocode for the algorithm in the flowchart given above. Something very easy, right? Starts match with the begin. Then you can say input A comma B. This is a selection, so you can use the if condition. If A larger than B, then display A, else display B. Then you can go with end if, and then you can go with end. Simple as that. Oh, my output should be different because in the ears part, it shows B. So this is going to be display B. This is going to be display A. Right? Because when this condition is true, this should be displayed. Otherwise, this should be displayed. So in the marking scheme, for that, they have given you 6 marks. Right. And the last part, the following flowchart reads 3 numbers and finds the smallest. Write down the correct expressions for missing labels P and Q. Okay, so the task is to find the smallest. So in the A larger than B condition, so they input 3 values. First they check A larger than B. Now here, if it is years, A is the bigger value, B is the smaller one. So our purpose is to find the smallest. So what they are trying to display here are the smallest. Right? So if C is being displayed, that means C should be the smallest. That means if we ask the question, C less than B, if it is true, it displays C because here B is smaller from this point. If we ask the question like this, that indicates C is even smaller than the B. So the condition should be C less than B. If it is not, B is going to be the smallest. Now, if you're going on the no path means A is smaller, B is bigger. So here it says display A and display C. So on the years path, if it is displaying C, that means C should be the smallest. So this condition, C less than A, should be a true. Then C will be given to display. Otherwise, A can be given to the display. So the answers are going to be these two, right? This one and this one. Let's check the marking scheme as well. Yeah, C less than B. Or you can write it by changing the side with the changes of the operator as well. However, C should be in the smaller side. Other two letters should be in the bigger side. So 4 marks is given for that. And that's how the last question ends. Okay, people, finalize your marks and see how much you got out of 100, right? And see for the mistakes that you have done and send me the answers, send me the final marks as well. Right, so I'll end the session from here just for today. And yeah, I couldn't really, I forgot to start the recording at the very beginning of the paper, but halfway through we start the recording. So I'll try to find all the recording until that particular question, which we couldn't do the recording, and I'll merge it and send it to you to the website so you can refer. So by next week, we are going to discuss the 218 paper, and we will be having time to discuss both the papers, people. Right, so please complete the entire paper, right? So by next week, I'm going to start the 2018 straight away. I'm not asking what are the corrects or incorrects from you, because it's good we discuss 18, 19, 20 in fully manner, right? So I'll start it straight away. So get ready with that. So then you will see how you have done in the paper. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you on next week for the very same time. All right. Okay. Have a nice weekend, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Right. Okay, Mino. Thank you very much.